Now that Trudeau is gone or sort of gone, like, what was that? Who was he working for, actually?
I can tell you, Tucker, he was not working for us, for Canadians.
Yeah. Is he Fidel Castro's son?
That's a good Polyev, the leader of the Conservative Party, like the Republican Party here in the U.S., but they're not conservative. They're conservative in name only. The
Pierre Polyev.
Pierre Polyev is the leader of the Conservative.
Who is Carney? Can you explain who Mark Carney is?
Oh, my God.
He's the leader of the Liberal Party. He was the replacement for Trudeau.
He is the globalist in chief.
Gang, what's up? Aaron here, Canadian Looney. We're going to jump into another Tucker Carlson interview. This one gets wild and wacky right off the bat. Tucker Carlson, the more he talks about Canada, the less I think he really knows. I still like Tucker Carlson, but he's very opinionated. Max Bernier here from the Canadian People's Party has a lot to say about a lot of things in Canadian federal politics. Let's take a look and a listen.
And he did impose on us also a vaccine passport. I wasn't able to travel across the country because I'm not vaxxed, But what he did to our country.
Do you regret not being vaxxed?
Oh, no.
Do you ever think I really wish I'd had the COVID vaccine?
No. That was the best decision in my life.
Me too. I totally agree. Sorry, not to make others feel bad. So he went about it so systematically. He got the government to pay for killing your citizens through the MAIDS program. Like, everything he did seemed designed to destroy Canada, like on purpose. If you wanted to destroy the country, you would do what he did. Why do you think he did that?
He is a socialist for sure, and a globalist, and the World Economic Forum for him was, the great thing, and they were promoting socialism and globalism, and nobody imposed that philosophy on us, on Canadians. Trudeau was very pleased with that, and he decided to put legislation into place, into force in Canada, in line with that philosophy. And, for him, he was spending money like it was not a big deal. Actually, what he did, he was able to double the debt that we accumulated over 148 years. He was able to double that in 10 years. So our debt
doubled the debt in 10 years.
The debt that we accumulated over 148 years, it took him 10 years to do that. So the debt was $600 billion, and he doubled that to $1,200 billion. And he said, deficits are okay. When you have a deficit, it's a way to stimulate the economy. But we know that, you cannot stimulate the economy with borrowed money. It's a sedative for the economy. So now in Canada, we are I believe, in a recession. Our standard of living is going down. Actually, what he did with mass immigration, that was, his dad was a big proponent of multiculturalism. Every culture are equal. So, and he did that in the 1970s, that philosophy. And now we have a legislation in Canada promoting multiculturalism. But add that with mass immigration, you have the perfect storm. You have people who are coming to our country, and you don't ask them to integrate into our society. You can keep your culture. You don't integrate into our society. We live in ghettos, and we have ghettos in Canada also. So a lot of people came to Canada, and the economy was growing because of the growth of the population. But, the population was growing faster than the economy. So our GDP per capita went down the last 10 years. So we are poorer today in Canada if you look at what we had 10 years ago. And it's because of Trudeau. It's because of mass immigration. It's because of big spendings. That's the legacy of Justin Trudeau.
Do you know Justin Trudeau personally?
I had a dinner with him when I was in Parliament, when he was in the opposition. A long time ago, and he's full of himself, but he's a funny guy. But
he's charming in person.
Oh yeah, he's charming, he's funny, and but actually, it's all about himself.
Yeah,
it's all about himself.
Is he Fidel Castro's son?
That's a good question. we need to have a DNA on that.
But do people in Canadian government believe that he might be?
But some Canadians believe for sure. Oh, actually, yes. And, that's on social media. You can see
So it's not just a crazy theory. That could be true, you think?
For some, it's crazy. For others, it is not.
Yes.
But it is a real question.
Certainly looks like it.
He looks like it, yeah.
I'm not for socialized medicine, I guess, but I don't have really strong feelings. I just want something that works, I guess, is what I really...
But it is not working in Canada.
Well, it's just sad because you would go to Canada. I've spent a lot of time there hunting and fishing. And even the conservative Canadians say, we've got this great healthcare system, and they were so proud of their healthcare system. I mean, they really were. I remember very well, 30 years ago, they would always tell you, and they were a little bit insecure and defend, we're Canada, we're a real country. They'd always be like that. But we have this great healthcare system, and they really were proud, I think.
Yeah.
Were they?
But that's not the case right now. That's not the case right now because the waiting list for surgeries, you can wait a year. So, we are spending a lot of money for healthcare, and that's not functioning.
But do people feel like it's not working in Canada?
Yeah, more people. Actually, more people. So they're ready. My position is for every Canadian to have an insurance. Everybody will have an insurance, and they will be able to choose if they can go to a private hospital or a public hospital.
I wonder at a certain point, and clearly Trudeau and Poilievre and the rest of them, Carney, think this too, but how far can you push people before, they respond in an unreasonable, violent way? I mean, if this wasn't Canada, if it was any other country, I would say, boy, they're going to get a revolution if they're not careful. You can't oppress people like this. Yeah. You can't offer them suicide instead of healthcare. You can't flood their societies with foreigners. You can't destroy their standard of living. You can't throw them in jail for expressing opinions without provoking a violent response. Are they worried about that? Is that why they took your guns away?
If they're worried about that. I'm not worried about that as a leader of a...
I'm against violent revolution, just for the record.
I'm against also that. No, it will be, the revolution will come when people will be ready, and it's happening right now. You can see the change. You can see we have more support as a new political party. People understand the battle that we are doing. And I believe it would be a quiet revolution. They're going to say, enough is enough. And that will happen. But as soon, I don't know, it may be in a couple of years or a couple of months. We never know.
But you see throughout the West, the democratic system controlled by authoritarians, excluding people from the system. You see it with Marine Le Pen right now in France. You were just knocked out of the debates. Georgescu in Romania, arrested for running on a populist position, the most popular politician in the country, and he's arrested because he's the most popular. Yeah. So they're basically denying people a democratic outlet for their frustrations. They're saying, even your voting, this country, they stole the 2020 election, obviously. They're basically not allowing people any way to express their views at all. And that seems like a scary thing to do.
Well, we can have another freedom convoy in Canada. That was very successful. And, that was successful because at the end, we were able to stop these draconian measures on us with that freedom convoy. So maybe something like that can happen. A very peaceful protest in Canada saying to our politicians, enough is enough. It can happen. Yeah.
Who is Carney? Can you explain who Mark Carney is?
Oh, my God.
He's the leader of the Liberal Party. He was the replacement for Trudeau.
He is the globalist in chief. He was, as you know, Tucker, the special envoy on climate action and finance for the UN. And he wrote a book about climate change and imposing a carbon tax. But now he's a politician, and he knows that it is not popular to impose a carbon tax. Canadians they don't want to pay more taxes anymore. So he said, I want to impose a carbon tax. But he is part of the elites, with the UN and the World Economic Forum. For Canadians right now, it's that's a Trudeau 2.1. But, he looks more competent because he was the governor of the Bank of Canada. And he believes in printing money out of thin air, that we can have deficit, and the Bank of Canada will buy Canadian bonds, and so like they did during COVID-19. I'm waiting for him and Poilievre to tell us when they will balance the budget. As I know what President Trump is doing in the U.S. with Doge. We need to do the same in Canada. We need to do the same. It's these two leaders are the same. I call them, the uni-party. Liberals or conservative, they're Lib-Con party. That's the same on the most important issue. And now, in that electoral campaign, they are using slogan. Poilievre is using, so I'm here for you. I'm going to put Canada first. He's saying that seriously by saying more war in Ukraine, more mass immigration. He's not speaking about ending the deficit.
More climate suicide.
Yeah, climate suicide and all that. And, our enemy is Trump, President Trump.
And so you said you can't get on Canadian media, which is
mainstream media.
It's state media, right? I mean, doesn't your government subsidy give money to media?
CBC and Radio-Canada in French, $1.2 billion. But the federal government is giving also $800 million to other, media, mainstream media, CTV, Global Mail, and so. We will cut that. We want,
Why not have a free media? Why? State media is for North Korea, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Like free countries don't have state media, do they?
That's why we want to cut that spending. And if Radio-Canada or CBC, they're going bankrupt, that's it. That's okay. That's the free markets. But they are the propaganda arms of the federal government, these mainstream media. And, the narrative on COVID, and now you have, at that time, during the COVID hysteria, you didn't have the other narrative on mainstream media. And now the narrative is, we must save our country from Trump. We are independent. We just need to have a good deal with President Trump. And so that's the narrative right now coming from the mainstream media.
So can you get your message? Like, how do you get your message out in Canada?
Today with you.
Wait, is that right?
Oh, yeah. You
got to fly to the United States.
Absolutely.
Do Canadians look at social media?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the future. I'm the only leader of a national political party in Canada who is doing podcasts. And Poilievre and all these other, they cannot sit for an hour, 2 hours and having a discussion. They cannot do that. So, but the new way of doing politics, Trump did it, President Trump did it, and, it was successful. You need to have a discussion and explain your point of view and your political philosophy, political position. So I'm doing that. I'm the only one. And it's helping. Yes, it's helping. And I think...
How are you treated by the Globe and Mail and CBC and Radio-Canada?
I don't exist.
They don't even mention you.
No, I don't exist for them. I don't.
Oh, yeah. We'll wrap it up right there, gang. Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of Tucker Carlson. What do you think about our Canadian People's Party leader, Max Bernier? Let me know in the comments. That's it. Thank you for watching the video. Check one of the other ones floating around here out. Aaron, Canadian Looney, smash the subscribe, hit the like. We'll catch you in the next video. Ciao for now.